Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's Transformation Talk, and I'm talking.
Hi.
Hi, Ayo. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just, you know when you have to go live and then like everything just stops working properly. So it's
Yeah,
just, anyway, we're here.
yes, yes, we are here. We are
We're
here. We
here.
are live. Yes. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been okay. Just the usual school run, children, and yeah, just other errands I had to do today.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's been fine. It's been fine. It's been a
Good.
good day all in all. But yeah, how about
Yeah, fair
yourself?
enough. Well, so I thankfully I'm able to work from home most Mondays,
Oh,
so
that's
it's
good.
not been too stressful. I've been able to get a lot of my admin done because we're grown ups now. Uh, we have admin and paperwork to do and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all good.
Okay, great, great,
It's all
great,
good.
great,
I've been
great.
looking
That's
forward
good.
to today, and I've had a few people say, "Oh, they're really looking forward to the conversation." So we might
Okay,
give people
great,
a few
great.
minutes to log on. But
Okay.
we've got Wealth Talks. Hi, Wealth Talks.
Hi, Well Talks.
How are you? Thank you for joining us. We've got Matt Danks. Hi, Matt Danks. Have I said that right? Matt
Yeah,
Danks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How you doing, bro? Welcome, 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 welcome. We'll probably give people a few minutes to. Do you know what? Do you know the thought that just came through my mind? I said we should play I Spy.
You're really reliving childhoods here.
Hey, hey.
Oh
You know what I mean?
God. I Spy, I was last
Yeah,
time playing I Spy. I think I was trying to teach the children how to play it when I was
how to
8.
play I Spy.
That's not even recently. Like that's a while ago.
What are your kids like for hide and seek?
Well, they've evolved throughout hide and seek. Because back in the day, we play hide and seek, and I think was it Tia? Yeah, it was Tia. We were in the park, so I would count. They would run and hide somewhere. But
Yeah,
then Tia would just literally she would lay on the grass and cover her eyes, and think that she's hiding because she can't see anyone.
yeah.
That
So
used to be that was so funny. Like I was just like, this
I
is
don't get it.
hilarious. She'll literally cover her eyes and she'll be like, she thinks that yeah,
So
she's hiding. But yeah,
my
I think
my
we're much better now. Like they're actually quite decent. Actually, to be fair,
they understand the concept of hide and seek.
they understand the concept of it. Yeah, they
So
do.
my kids are like they'll we'll walk into a room and I can see them moving like under the bed sheets or whatever. I, I wonder if Ezekiel's in here. No, I'm not. Like,
But that is so cute.
make it harder. Make it harder for me to
It's
find.
children.
You know.
They're
Yeah.
hilarious though. They're actually
Yes.
too funny. Too
Absolutely.
funny.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of joy and jokes.
Indeed. Indeed. It
The
helps
parents.
us relive your childhood and live
Yes,
vicariously.
exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm happy to go if you're happy to go. Should we get going?
Yeah, let's get going.
Let's do it. So, thank you everybody who's joining and who's going to watch this later. You are on the transformation tour with Dr. Ayo and Yime. Yime Music at Yime Music. Thank you so much for your time, and let's get the party going. Let's go.
Yep.
We're gonna say hi, Des. Hi, Robin. Robbie Canwin. Hi, Matt Denks. Hi, Well Talks. Hi, Lena. In case you don't know, that's my wife. Just so you're interested.
I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah. Just just making sure that the world knows. So, I really appreciate your time. You know me, I'm a fan. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
I hope you know
Yes.
that by now.
Thank you very much.
But before we go into talking about like at Yime Music, let's talk about Yime the person. So my first question is, tell me an embarrassing story from your childhood.
Right. So I'm really glad you gave me the heads up on this one because
Yes,
I think, do you know what? It's not even like there's not even a lot of embarrassing stories to share, to be
is
honest.
it?
But yeah, the one that came to mind was when I was in high school or grammar school. And I think it was the end of the day. And the way my high school is situated, if you turn right, there's like a little walkway, like a shortcut basically to the main road. And that's where
Yeah.
the school bus would be waiting.
Yeah.
So I went through this walkway, turned the corner, saw the school bus there, but I was like low key kind of late, so the school bus would only stay there for a certain amount of time before before leaving. So
Yeah.
I saw it still there, and I thought to myself, you know what? What if it like leaves like very soon? You better, you know, make a run for it. So I guess people can probably figure out where this is going. So I decided, against my better judgment, to run for the school bus. Right? It's not even like I couldn't get any other bus if the school bus like went, but obviously the school bus is free, so you know we're still trying to, you know what I mean, catch the school bus. So I ran the school bus. And then something happened to my feet. Like, I just don't know what happened. I think I tripped on like, you know, the paving. On the pavement, I tripped. I think one of them was not quite level, and I tripped and I fell. And it was, and you know what? When I fell, it was actually like I was falling in slow motion, because then I landed boom, like that on the floor. Like, that's what it was like.
And was the school bus still there?
I turned back. I could just see everyone like laughing their heads off.
Because
you don't want to be falling when all the school kids are out. But that's
and
like
kids are mean, boy.
To embarrass yourself. Oh my
Sorry
days.
about it. Sorry about it. So how long did it take before you lived that down?
But the thing is, it wasn't too bad, because it wasn't like, I think I was in year 7 at this point, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't. I think it wasn't like there was loads of people from my year there as well. It's like a mixture of the school, like all the school years and stuff like that. But what I did happen to me was that I actually decided not to run for the buses anymore. Like I was just like, because I was just like, I can't have this happen again. I mean, it took me a while. And I have been running for like trains and tubes. Like if I'm in London, I will run, because that one is different.
No one knows you there. So
again?
Because no one knows you there. So
exactly, that's what I mean. But you know, just in Manchester, I said I'm not running for no bus no more.
That's it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not gonna be that girl. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. So my story. My kids love this story. So there was a time when we were doing swimming after school.
Okay.
And I have forgotten my swimming trunks.
Okay.
So the sensible thing to do would have been like, sir, I haven't got my swimming trunks, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
oh no.
I decided that, you know, it's pants. Now what's the difference? So I decided to swim in my underpants.
Wow.
That's not even the best part of the story.
No, it gets worse.
That's what all of my underpants were.
What?
White.
Oh God.
So what happens to white when it gets wet?
Transparency.
So I was that. Yes, I was that guy.
So how did?
Yeah.
So how did you? When did you realize, or did you realize that was what that was?
I think I was in a bit of a daze, because one of my friends came to give me my towel and stuff, and I remember she was looking like smiling, like, but not like a you did well smile. It was a different kind of smile.
Wow.
And it's probably weeks later that I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, so nobody actually told you. It just
no one,
wow.
Not even the teacher, no teachers, not my brothers. Like nobody.
Wow.
I think it was so embarrassing that they decided not to mention it. I took it enough, so they just left it.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
What a wow.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, my kids love that story.
Oh really? Oh bless them.
Yeah. So, okay, so
what Daddy did, okay?
Yes, please, kids out there in white, even when you're getting baptized, like
that's true. Like that's actually true. Anything you should always never be white. It should always be
black. White, but wear something underneath it, you know. To
exactly. Okay, that can work.
Your decency. All right, okay. So, tell me a bit about Yime, the person growing up.
You met the person growing up. I think I was as a child, I think I was quite carefree. I wasn't afraid to try new things. I was very kind of like outgoing in that sense. Yeah, I think I was just always coming up with different ideas, even at the house with David, because David and my brother David, were quite close in age, so we often played together and stuff like that. But yeah, and I was quite, I say musical, but I was always like making up songs, like gibberish songs though, like songs that had no words to them,
Yeah.
just like just me. It's like almost speaking in tongues, but with a melody.
Okay, with tune. All right.
It wasn't really tongues. It's actually just gibberish. But yeah, like, you know, growing up was sweet. You know, it was sweet in many ways.
Okay, and so you are now a recording artist, but you are. It took a journey to get here. So when did you first realize? Hold on, singing is a thing that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Singing is a thing that actually I'm good at, and singing is a thing that I want to take seriously.
So I think I've always been able to sing, and for as far back as I can remember, I was privileged enough to have stages at church, you know, fellowship, and where I could use my gift, and I was very happy to do so. I never really had like stage fright or anything like that, so it was almost like a comfortability on stage.
Yeah.
I think even from a young age. I started writing songs when I was about 11 or 12. And that was like literally like putting pen to paper, not just like coming up with jingles or whatever it was. And so I think it was just before I started uni, you know, that I started thinking about taking it more seriously. That's when I actually got in touch with a producer.
Okay.
Or actually, no, someone put me in touch with a producer actually, and he helped me work on like what was my first quote unquote single that was released on MySpace, because MySpace was a thing back then.
Wow.
MySpace, I bet there's people on this call, I don't know what MySpace is, but anyway.
I was gonna say, so kids, MySpace.
That was like the progenitor of like Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. It was the social media network
of the time.
At the time, yeah. So I released it on MySpace, and I think I was just about transitioning into going to university, and I think I joined a group when I was in university, and that was one of the songs that, you know, I would perform with this group. And so yeah, I think people were telling me that the song was amazing, like, you know, they really loved the message of it. Obviously it was a worship song. It was called I Just Want to Say. And yeah, I think I started to think that, okay, maybe this is something that I should be doing because of the response I was getting from people. I didn't necessarily know, I never had that clarity as to what my voice was supposed to be for. I mean, I'd always sung in like church and other like events and things like that, but I didn't really have that clarity. So it was people telling me that, oh, you know, this is great music, and that's what made me want to like pursue it. So I started writing songs, working with producers and so on and so forth, and that's kind of how the journey began as an artist.
Okay. So what year are we talking about?
So this was probably 2005, 6. So okay, that was probably how many years ago? Where are we now? 2022. So it's been a while. But the journey, obviously, the journey has had its ups and downs, like you were talking about. So I did start off while I was at uni. I was singing a lot, kind of as part of the group, but then also kind of doing my own music as well. And then I think around 20, so about maybe how many years later? 6 years later, I started working on my own EP. Again, people were telling me, you've got to put something out. So I was like, okay, let's put something out. So 2012, I started working on my EP. I released it the following year, and that was called Transition. Shout out to you and Nina and the what's it, Costa Cafe, acoustic,
Sunday Night Live.
unplugged. Yeah, Sunday Night Live. That's it. Because
Yeah.
you know, you obviously gave me a platform to like showcase some of the songs and stuff like that, which was amazing.
That was a good flex. Sunday Night Live. I really
It
liked
was really
it.
good for me as an artist as well, because I'd never done something that extensive in terms of
Okay.
the songs on the EP, but other songs that I'd written that weren't on the EP as well. So that happened, and then, you know, shortly after I released the EP, you know, life changes, you get engaged, you get married. Exactly. I qualified as a lawyer, so there's a lot going on at the time. Shortly after I released the EP, and then music just kind of fell further and further from view, because then after I got married, it was like time to find work, and work wasn't easy to find at the time. So that was my focus. My focus was trying to find work and obviously, you know, contribute to my family. Everything. So then, music just fell further from view. Then I got pregnant and had a child, and it was just like, hallelujah, yes, hallelujah. And again, it was like, how do I fit music now into this space? But aside from that, it was also that I think I'd lost a bit of confidence as well, because when it came out, it hadn't been pushed the way that, you know, like it probably should have been, because I had so many other things going on. So it was like, okay, where would I even start? If I wanted to go back into music, where would I even start? Like, I don't feel like, can I even do this? Do you know what I mean? You have all these doubts and niggling questions because you're not doing it anymore. You're not like in that space of recording music, performing music. So it was all those things that happened at the time, which led to Reload. So
we're gonna come to Reload, but I think, because obviously this is the topic of what we're talking about today, how to start again. Tell me about your musically your lowest point or your biggest disappointment.
Musically, my biggest disappointment probably was just not understanding enough about the industry when it came to like marketing. So I focused so much on you know, making sure that the music was quality, or as much quality as it could be, but then didn't fully grasp the other side of it, which is, okay, you need to market this and find ways or strategies to market this properly so that it can obviously be listened to by, you know, a wide range of people. So I think that was disappointing, because I feel like with what I had invested in making the music great, what I'd invested in even in myself to actually get to that point of releasing something, I think I was disappointed because I felt like it didn't go as far as it should have, if that makes sense.
Okay. And obviously, you know, this is specific to music, but I do think there are some transferable skills, you know, so like leadership is transferable, confidence is transferable, you know, mindset is transferable. So somebody is listening to this or watching this and they're not a musician, but there might have been something that they're passionate about that has they've taken a walk down and then been knocked for six. So what kind of advice can you give to that person? So they've tried something, that thing didn't go to plan, and they're at the stage where you were asking yourselves the question, can I even do this again? What can we say to that person?
I think it's, for me personally, I think it's about getting clarity again on why you're doing what you're doing, or why you were doing what you were doing. And I think going back to the why is important, because sometimes you might find that what you were doing before, you didn't really have a clear why on why you're doing it. Maybe you did it because you stumbled into it. You did it because people were telling you to do it. Do you get what I mean? So in you know, in another way of looking at it could be that you not necessarily doing that same thing anymore is actually a gift, because it's enabling you to stop, pause, you know, reassess the situation and see whether you actually do want to continue. So once you've got your why, and if your why is still the same, then I think that it's important to maybe get people around you to help you, to encourage you, along that direction, because I know that if you've not been doing something for a while, again, you can lose confidence. You can feel like, oh, can I still do it? And so you
So
need that community and that support
yeah.
around you.
How did you deal with that confidence issue?
The confidence issue. So I think for me, how I dealt with it was just getting back out there, and that was something that God opened doors for me, which is why I could get back into it, because it was like, I remember, I think it was probably like 2016, so the year that I had my first child. I think towards that end of that year, I was kind of feeling like low and just having low mood, and just like I just needed to kind of take time out and reconnect back to God. And so I just decided that next month in December would be a month of just me reconnecting and really pursuing God again. And the following month, someone got in contact with me who I'd met at a conference, and she was like, you know, I want you to sing at my birthday party. I'm having a praise and worship night. And I'm like, in my head, I was like shocked, because I met her at a conference. I wasn't singing at that conference or anything like that. So I don't know how she knew that I sung. I don't even remember telling her my name, to be honest with you. But I just knew that God had set that up. So it meant that, like, you know, he was opening doors and redirecting me again to what I was supposed to be doing. And when I got back on stage, it was like, oh, you still have this. It's just that you haven't done it for a while. You know, it's still actually inside of you. Like, it is you. It's part of who you are. And so, you know, no matter how long you have left it, when you are able to, or fortunate to get back to that space again, it's like you never left. Do you get what I mean?
I think it's interesting though, because it's like, if we're not careful, we can go through things in life and those things knock our confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
And then they do make you question like the fundamentals. One of the fundamentals is, who am I?
Yeah.
You know, trying to answer that question is a big thing.
Yes.
And especially if you've had no reason to question it before the knock.
Yeah.
The knock can be a serious thing.
Yeah.
I can think of a number of things. For me, before I started working in this place, I worked another place, and there were some pretty challenging work situations.
Oh,
I don't know whether I've heard my testimony, but it was tough. It was really tough.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was at a stage where I hated going into work, and I loved my job.
Yeah.
I loved it. So it was tough, and I left, and I'm starting a new place, and having to ask myself the question, just like you're saying, can I do it again? You know, the thing that I've been trained to do, the thing I've been doing for the last however many years. You know, can I do this?
Yeah.
And also, I think another fundamental question is, do I want to do this?
Yes.
You know, and I think what you say about you know, clarifying your why, I think it's really pivotal. You know, I also think it's important for people listening, just like, so obviously you are a trained lawyer.
Yeah.
You know, you are a mother. You are, you know, a wife, and you're a recording artist, right?
Yeah.
So, because I think for some people, it can feel like, well, let me try this thing. It didn't work, so I'm just going to put that part of me away.
Yeah. And,
you know, especially if it's in the creative space or it's in a business space, I'm going to put that part of me away because it's not working. And I'm just going to do something else. Did you ever feel like, actually, I may not sing again, you know, or there are other things that I'm trying to do right now, singing's way on the back burner?
Yeah, I mean, I was still singing. I just wasn't singing my own stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I was singing at church. And then I was also part of a group. And I think that being part of that group, because we were like actually a group that came together to try and write songs for our church, right? Fresh songs. And so I think getting back into that writing space, because I think even when I tried to write, I had like massive writer's block. I couldn't write anything. And this is a far cry from Yime of, you know, years ago, where I had such a creative flow that I was writing songs like almost every day. Like it was very easy for me to write songs. And so I feel like, you know, I just got quite rusty. And I guess when you get rusty, again, like you said, you lose confidence. But I think the way to get the confidence back is just to get back into the saddle and doing it again, not expecting to be great at it again. Like not expecting to be at the level you were when you left off. Because even like for me with my voice, I haven't sung a lot recently, but I've been singing a lot at home. So I've noticed the difference in like singing a lot at home. In my voice, in my vocal cords, because they're getting like a bit more of a workout. So I'm hitting the notes with a bit more ease than I was before, because sometimes I'm like, this voice, it's just, it used to be doing some powerful things before, but now I don't know what happened. But again, I feel like one of the antidotes to like a lack of confidence is to get back out there and do it. And I'm grateful because, you know, God opened doors for me to get back out there. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly you doing this. And I guess for me, not even just having the why, but also what is your passion? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, are you passionate about this? Because I think passion can carry us very, very far. I think if you don't have passion for something, I think it can get very stale very quickly. And you know, you find yourself in a bit of a situation where it's like, this thing, I'm not even sure I want to do it again. Do you know what I mean? So I think why is important. Your passion, whether it's a passion for you, is important. So
I think that's really important, because in any journey from A to B, there are going to be parts of the journey that are not exciting.
100%.
And if you don't have a why, it's like, okay, later. You know, it's easy to give up and do something else. And having a clear why, I'm doing this because of this, you know, this is the thing that I feel I'm called to. This is the thing that, you know, I'm passionate about. These are the skills that I have that I want to grow. If you don't have that, it's easy to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to, you know, give up and try something else. And fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of success, it's the consistency and the persistence. I'm going to keep doing this thing till, you know, I get good at it.
Exactly.
You know,
100%. Like, you have to have that vision. I feel like vision is basically faith, to be honest with you. Like, you have to have that vision that is beyond what you can see physically, like, because that is what is going to pull you through in the times that are difficult. Like, being an independent artist is really not easy at all, to be honest with you. Even in 2022, you know, even comparing now to 2013, like, a lot has changed in the industry, like, in terms of how people consume music. So now it's mainly streaming, you want to get on playlists and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot you've got to do because it's changed. There's a lot of aspects of it that you have to try and keep on top of. And if you're not great at one aspect, you want to bring somebody in, but then obviously that's not free. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I feel like having that why, like you said, and having that passion for it is what keeps you going, because you're like, okay, I'll figure it out. Like, somehow there will be a solution somewhere, shape or form. And obviously if God is involved, you know what I'm trying to say, like, he will open doors as well. So
what do you it's tough. So and again, we're talking about you as a recording artist trying to get to this position where you're a well-recognized name in the community. You hear the name, you know what kind of music you're going to get, and you know what you're going to receive from a sound point of view. But getting there is an issue, and you realize that it's climbing up a mountain. So what do you tell yourself from a mindset point of view to keep yourself going?
I think what I tell myself is that like, you're worthy of this. Like, that's the big thing.
Oh, stop there. Stop there. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Was that ever something you struggled with?
Oh, 100%, 100,000%. And I think
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so basically I've always kind of struggled with my self-worth and like my self-esteem and so on and so forth. And I feel like music and being on stage was a way that throughout my life God helped me to deal with that, if you get what I mean. So I wasn't wallowing in that place, but it was still a struggle for me. And I think that when you don't see your worth, you cannot have self-belief. If you don't have self-belief, you cannot push yourself to where you are supposed to be. Even if God is showing you that this is where I'm taking you, this is what I have for you. If you don't have that belief in yourself, you're not gonna get there. Do you get what I mean? Because your belief, you know, I believe belief is like the flip side to action. Like
Yeah.
that's what drives your action. I believe in myself. I don't, and it's an internal reality that isn't governed by your external reality, because you know people can affirm you here and there,
Yeah.
but when there's silence and nobody's saying anything, what are you telling yourself?
I think the interesting thing is it's not even determined by what God says,
Yeah, no, it's not.
because God is clear about his disposition. But if I am in a position where I'm like, well,
I don't
maybe,
believe it. Yeah,
exactly, then you
that's
know,
it. Do you get what I mean? So you know, that was a journey. I even wrote a song about that on my on the EP that I released in 2013 called Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of dealing with a lot of that stuff, where I kind of go through the journey of, you know, not having that self-esteem that I needed to have, but also, you know, getting to a point where I'm believing what God says about me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I read it, I'm like, really? And because the narrative I had about myself was false. You know what I mean? Like, it was a false narrative. It was a lie. But because I believed that lie, that's what I was living out. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I remember, I think it was only like, was it last year that I really had a significant breakthrough in this area? I was in my quiet time, and, you know, I had a vision. And in this vision, I was like in the middle of a lake, just me in a boat in the middle of a lake with trees all around me. All I could hear was nature sounds and so on and so forth. And as I zoomed into the vision, I could see that the boat that I was in by myself, it was made up of the word worthy. And I heard, you know, God say to me, just lie down in the boat, like lie down. And I was just like, but how can I lie down in this boat? Because I can't swim, I can't row this boat. There's nobody around. So obviously I'm being my usual self, and God tells me to do something like, you know. And then I just said, then he said to me, lie down in the boat. So I lay down in the boat, and I don't know what it was. There was just a breakthrough that happened in me. And I always say that it was almost like I actually got to see myself for the first time. Is that for the first time I was introduced to who I was, like the veil was torn, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been sleeping on me. Do you get what I mean? Like, it was genuine from the heart. It was like, you're dope, you know.
Yes.
And it honestly, it was almost like an overnight shift. And I don't know, you know, God obviously knows the way to reach us. And that thing just, it broke that whole self-worth thing in my heart.
It's just such a powerful image.
Yeah.
Lying down in the worthiness. It's just, it's just such a powerful image. And I think the reason it's important, because it's like, so, you know, these are mindset shifts that you have to go through to get to a position where you're now forging ahead, pushing forward, and, you know, putting yourself in spaces. Almost for people's judgment and stuff. And I think it's difficult because, you know, we're back to the, you know, how do you start again? So sometimes when we're starting the first time, we're too young and naive to even know what we don't know.
We stumbled here.
You know. And then, so, but when you've tried that and then you flopped. So I'll tell you a story. Do you know Oblivion? All the time. So I don't like roller coasters.
Oh really?
I've been on. I like my stomach to be exactly where God intended.
I love roller coasters. Okay.
No, man. Oh no, I'm not on it. But like, so the second time was worse than the first time.
Oh wow!
Because I knew exactly what to expect.
Okay, right. Yes.
You know what I mean? So I know that I'm gonna come down. I know they're gonna tip me over the edge. I know they're gonna drop me. So when we've tried something and we've probably in our naivety just forged ahead, not even really, maybe just thrashing, not necessarily having a strategy, whatever, and maybe it didn't work. But now I'm trying again, and I kind of know what it feels like to fail. I know what it feels like to flop. And I'm having to fight the memories. Of, you've tried this already. You know, you didn't do it last time. What makes you think you can do it this time? So yes, can you speak to that?
I can speak to that, to be honest. Because I think for me, like, I've always struggled with consistency with stuff. So I know when I want to try something and I've gotten to that place in my mind where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go for this. That's when a lot of the memories will flash back. Oh, you man, are you gonna be consistent with this? Are you gonna commit to this? Because you have to commit to see results. Are you gonna do it? And I'll be so charged. I'll be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it's when it gets to that there's that crunch point where you kind of go from like motivation carrying you to like habit carrying you now.
Yes, exactly.
And you have to kind of cross that bridge.
Yeah.
And sometimes in times past, I've fallen at the bridge. I haven't crossed the bridge. But I told myself, you know what? Like, you're actually consistent in so many different things. Like, you're consistent in brushing your teeth every day, twice a day, in fact. Consistent in having a shower, consistent in getting up, look after your children, consistent in making sure you eat food. Do you get what I mean? There's so many things in life that you're consistent at. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because you didn't, even if you, like, for example, if you're cooking food now, the food doesn't taste, it doesn't bang, right? It doesn't bang. Are you now not gonna cook again?
Exactly.
Knowing that you have the need to eat, are you not gonna try again? Of course you're gonna try.
Exactly.
Honing in on these like everyday situations helps, because it's like a lot of the time that's just a lie, really. That, you know, it's a lie that we've heard and we've given energy to.
Yes.
And really and truly, like, anybody who's been great at anything knows that failure is part of success. It's 100% part of success. If you fail, you know now what not to do. So
absolutely,
time round, do you get what I mean? It's gonna be a better run for you, because you know, actually, that's what I did last time. That didn't work. So there's got to be another way that I can this path can be forged for me to get to my destination. And I might fail again. You know what I mean? We might fail several times until we get to where we're gonna get to, but each time, you know, we are closer to where you know, the destination, the vision, manifest, whatever it is, we're closer to that than we have ever been. You know, and like, well, if we don't try, it's always going to be failure. That's literally what it is. Like,
this is the thing. There are so many things that, like, you know, you said about you introduce yourself and different mindset shift. You know, like in the Matrix where Neo realize what's going on, and it's a completely, he looks at the world a completely different. I mean, the Matrix movie is just so laid out. I love it. But
it is
the way that so things are making sense now of the phrases that I've heard before that I didn't really pay attention to. That, so things like people say, when you fail and you start again, you're not starting from the bottom, you're starting with experience. You have that extra, so it's not starting again. You know, you've got that experience, and it's a transferable skill. I've learned what not to do, and actually, with a lot of these things that we're talking about, you might only need one time. So
exactly.
As a doctor, I applied 3 times to medical school.
Oh wow!
I only ever had 1 interview.
Wow!
Ever.
Wow!
But you only need 1.
This is it. This is it. Do you get what I mean? That is true. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna read an excerpt from. So for those of you who don't know, Master Builders, I've written a book. It's called Building Blocks. Things you need to think about while you're building a life of your dreams. And I think part of the journey to building a life of the dreams is appreciating the fact that we might have been sold a lie. This concept that I can get where I need to go to and not fail and not have to start again. That's probably not true for anybody.
Not true. At all.
So so this chapter is from Get Back Up. And the excerpt is, when I pull next to another car at the traffic lights, do you know, I have never thought about how many times it took them to pass their test. Not once. The same applies to creating your dream life and financial freedom. There are going to be failures along the way, but don't let that stop you from trying again. When you get where you want to go, no one will care how many times it took. So pick yourself up and try again and again and again and again. it's really interesting. I think there are so many things that we're almost having to unlearn.
Yes.
You know?
100%. I think adulthood is a lot of time is spent unlearning stuff. Like
Yes.
early adulthood for me, to be honest, unlearning
Seriously.
almost everything.
Yeah.
So
the concept of what failure is actually experience. You know. So I mean, I wanna recap before we round off, because we want to respect people's time. So I really like the song Reload, because for me, I think it really talks so much about this situation of I mean, do you remember Last Samurai, the film with
yes,
Tom
I do
Cruise?
remember Last Samurai. I don't remember the film though. Yeah,
I mean, you could keep, there are probably loads of images. It's in Rocky, it's in Captain Marvel, where the protagonist is getting beat down and then standing up.
Yeah.
And then getting beat down and then standing up. And then getting beat down. And actually, young and naive, inexperienced in these things. We've talked about like maybe the first time you try something, you didn't know what you didn't know. You know? So you went on with dumb ignorance.
Yeah.
Let's just watch forward and bless you if it worked.
Yes.
You're probably lucky, but most of us, the first time we try something, we flop. We flop. And it can knock your confidence. It can make you question literally everything. Who am I? You know, is there a God? All these kinds of stuff. It can be a really, really big knock to your confidence. But having the confidence to get back up, I think it's such a big thing. And being in a situation where you give yourself grace, I think that's really important. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I can. I think again, I think that's part of the unlearning, because once you realize that actually, you know, everybody goes through, okay, apart from the exceptions, but everybody goes through a period of starting something. You're never going to know it at the start. Never, really, to be honest. It's even good that you got to the point of trying it and actually, you know, dipping your toes in the water, so to speak. But yeah, you will fail because you just don't know everything. That's just life. But as you keep doing and as you build experience, you are going to build confidence. But obviously, you know, we go through seasons in life. And I know for me, obviously, getting married, having children, it's a different season now, like to when I was single and I had a lot more time and even maybe more money to spend on however I wanted. And so I think part of it is also being able to say, actually, I can't run as fast as I would like, but I can still run. Do you get what I mean? I can still run at the pace that I can during this season of my life. And so I think that's where the grace for me comes in, because it's like, you know, I can be kind to myself. I can be gracious to myself because of the season I'm in. I don't have all the time. I don't have all the capacity, but I can still forge ahead, you know, one step at a time. I can still, you know, and it's not even like, the thing is, I will say slow and steady wins the race, but you're not really in a race with anyone. You know what I mean? It's your own lane. So like it's forged for you. So the pace that, you know, God obviously would know, like, you know, when she started out, she has a bit more energy, she can run faster. But then obviously now he's blessed me in the way he's blessed me, and it's a bit slower. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's nobody there. I'm not competing with anybody. Do you get what I mean?
You're in your own lane.
In my own lane. So you know, I also have grace myself, because I know that even though I'm singing and lots of people sing, what I have and what I carry is unique to me. So my journey is going to be unique as well. Do you get what I mean? There's no point comparing myself to A and B over here, because they're not me. Do you know what I mean? And their journey is not mine. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like that's where the grace comes in for me. I feel like I'm more able to show myself grace. I've also been delivered from the achievement mindset, where I have to be constantly achieving something. Grind. Achieving something. Run away from other stuff that I used to deal with. But, you know, I've actually come away from that. And I'm actually like, okay, you know, I want whatever I'm doing now to be meaningful, to be purposeful. Not because I'm trying to run away from other things that I need to face, but because it's actually the right time for me.
Absolutely.
A lot has happened within me. My mindset has been changed.
Yeah.
So now is the right time to be, doing what I'm doing. So
what you said is, then it's so profound, because that's kind of the things I'm thinking in my mind now. So the problem with a lot of this thing about putting yourself out there and trying to build your life is that if we're not careful, you're building someone else's life, because you're comparing all the time.
Exactly. Speak on that, please.
It's a house built on sand, because first off, if the image that you're building on is Instagram, guys, it's not real. It's not real. You don't want to see what this room looks like if I turn the cameras around.
Do you get what I mean?
It's not real, So if you're not careful, especially in certain circumstances when it comes to entrepreneurship and stuff like that, there's so much of a push to match everybody's pace. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate that success loves speed. I appreciate the fact that massive action often equals massive results. But I have to be honest with myself and realize that I have this bandwidth.
Yeah.
But if I try and operate on this bandwidth, it's going to be too much for me.
Exactly.
So it's not sensible for me to do that. I need to have a why. I need to know myself. I need to know my skills and my limitations and what I'm committed to. And so what can I give this thing? There's no point comparing myself. These people that I grew up with, they've got X and I don't have X. The only person that I'm should be comparing myself to is me. Am I better today than I was yesterday?
Yeah.
And
Speak on
the last thing is that success and achievement, sometimes it's messy.
This is it though. This is it. Like, the road to success it's just paved with so many twists and turns. Like, because at the end of the day, you are the success, right? So that's why you have to go through the hurdles, because you have to be fortified on the inside. I believe everything happens from the inside out anyway.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's why life, I believe life functions that way, because it's trying to build you for where you want to go. If you were to go there tomorrow, you won't be able to sustain what you're seeing. Do you get what I mean? So you have to be built. Like, you have to be proven in terms of problem solving, for example, because you're going to have problems. Can you solve the problems? Can you think creatively? Can you think innovatively? Can you can you devise a strategy under pressure? Do you know what I mean? These are all the things that come with having a hustle, being an entrepreneur, being an artist. It's like, okay, how do I work around this now? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not gonna make me turn away from what I'm doing, but how can I, with what I have and the time that I have, the bandwidth that I have, how can I maximize that? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
people might be looking at you and say, "Oh, Yima, she's she's singing with such ease, and she's posting these videos with that kind of stuff," and they're not aware of the hours and hours and hours, in the closet, and they're not aware. And they're not even they might not be aware of the fact that I didn't have a good day today. Yeah. But I have to do the thing that I have to do to be able to move me forward. Yeah. I wanted to go at a speed of 10 today, but all I've got is a 2.
Is a 2? Do you know what I mean?
And that's all I've got.
Real, that's so real. Please.
That's all I can give you today. Or do you know what? I've had a day. I'm not trying to build anything today. Today I'm going to build my bed. I'm going to build myself by taking time away from working on the dream. It sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to get it tomorrow or to get progress. I heard a message from Miles Monroe, way before his time. He was saying that when you look at the translation of when God says to man, be fruitful and multiply, the literal translation of that we've got in English is God saying to man, okay, Adam, become
yourself. Yes.
Yeah. So I
love that so much. Honestly, it spoke to me. When I heard that, it spoke to me. Like, you're deploying you. Do you get what I mean? You're at your own pace, like we've been talking about. Yeah.
So, you know, that's all that, isn't that what adulting is about? You know,
Yes,
just
that's what it's about.
becoming
I think
yourself.
adulting for me is about taking off like all the things that have covered up who I really am. Do you get what I mean?
Oh,
So
sis.
I feel like I've gone through a stripping process
Yeah.
in adulthood,
Yeah.
and it's brutal. It's a
Yes.
brutal. And the thing is, if you're walking with God, like you're going to go through regardless. You are going to go through process. You have to, because he's more invested in you being fortified on the inside. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel
Absolutely.
like it's like taking off the burial clothes, like literally just wow, I didn't even know this about myself. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's so
Yes.
much self-discovery that happens in the process. I think that that's such a beautiful thing. And I always think about the butterfly. I always love like the analogy of not the analogy of the butterfly. This is actually what happens to the butterfly, but where they start off as a caterpillar. Imagine you're a caterpillar and you don't know, you might not even know, didn't even know that they are butterflies, like as a butterfly within. Do you get what I mean? But then you go through that, you know, go into the cocoon or whatever it's called, and you go through that metamorphosis and you come out completely transformed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And for many of us, we don't know what's inside of us, to be honest. We don't know the fullness of our potential. We don't know the fullness of the ideas and the creativity that we like. We're made in his image, so it's limitless, really and truly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But as we go through the process and as we walk on the journey, and that's it, just keep on going. Like as we walk on that journey, we start to see more of who we are, and we start to be confident in that as well. Because it's not even just about seeing who you are; it's about walking in that confidently as well. And as we do that, we just see this beautiful butterfly just emerge, you know?
Absolutely. It's I was actually speaking to my son about the story of the ugly duckling and the kind of same imagery. You know, I was gonna ask you for something to close it off with, but I don't think we can close it any better than that. Thank you so much. You may put some flames in the chat, or some hundreds if you've enjoyed the conversation. How to start again? You know, there's gonna come a time, and this is the thing about trying to live your best life, trying to live the life of your dreams. Walking down this road is going to make you have to start again at some point. You're going to hit a brick wall. You're going to have to push through it. You're going to have to start again. You're probably going to doubt yourself. You're probably going to doubt your calling, all these kinds of stuff. It is, it's important for you to realize that, you know, you are the asset, you know, and
come on.
you are an answer to prayer.
Yes.
And you are a problem solver.
Come on.
And the value is you.
Do you know what? You need to do a whole segment on that. Is that in your book? Because people are in the book now, because that, even that one alone, you can be on that, meditating on that for weeks, if not months. So
absolutely, you know, almost life has beaten it out of us. But these are the thoughts that you need to think while you're building your ideal life, your dream life. So again, I want to say thank you. Yemi, how can people find you?
You can find me on all social platforms, so Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Everything but Facebook is Yime Music. NYIME MUSIC, obviously. And then Facebook is just Yime, so just my name. But you can find me on all those platforms. So
fantastic. And obviously you can find me at Master Builders 2022 on IG. In terms of the book, you can get the book at buildingblocks.live/pre-order. So it's going to be available at the end of November. It's just been edited at the minute. buildingblocks.live/pre-order. So there's going to be a physical book, an ebook, an audio book. And if you want to be more than inspired, there are packages on there that you're going to be able to sign up for we can have some proper in-depth conversations where we can say some practical things. Do this to get here. You know, because sometimes it's it feels like the choices are infinite. And actually, I want someone just to tell me, please, just do this.
Just do
Tell
this,
me the next step.
Lay it out for me, please.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got it all for you. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful evening or the rest of your day.
Yes.
And you know, it's all love.
It is all love. Thank you so much for having me. It's
I
been great
appreciate you, sis.
as usual.
Thank you,
And thank you for your
thank you.
support as well. Let me publicly say this.
Oh.
Yeah. Ayo and his wife Lena have supported me from day one. Every time I see them, sometimes I'm running away because they're gonna ask me about music and I don't have anything to share. But now because I'm in my lane, okay, we can hang out, we can chat, and they'll ask me and I'll have an answer, okay? Do you know what I mean? But I want to say shout out to you guys because obviously like that it means a lot to have your support and you know
appreciate
everything. So yeah.
Appreciate you. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.